After a 3,423 win for the Falcons over the Packers, only one game remains in Week 2, the Lions and Giants on Monday Night Football. Here's all the major news from Sunday highlights. Joe Thomas played his 10,000th straight snap for the Browns. That's unreal. At one point, Rex Burkhead had scored the most recent touchdown for the Patriots and the Bengals. Gronk scored the 69th receiving touchdown of his career. Nice. Martavis Bryant celebrated his first touchdown since being reinstated by shooting fake dice with his Steelers teammates. Tom Brady talked the refs out of an OPI call on a Patriots touchdown. Marcus Peters jokingly tried to peek at Eagles head coach Doug Peterson's play sheet. Tony Romo is predicting plays in Patriots vs. Saints, just like last week. He would be the worst person to watch a movie with. The Saints erased their own field goal, only to kick it again from the same spot. It actually made sense. Zach Ertz caught a ricochet pass that was destined to be a pick. Dexter McDougal took a pee break on the sideline against the Chiefs. The Vikings' failed punt attempt was even worse because of this half-assed throw. Bruce Arians put the blame for the Cardinals' struggles on Carson Palmer. A sound guy wasn't paying attention and steamrolled a Chiefs cheerleader. Tom Brady caught the Saints with 12 men on the field before throwing a pick. Cam Newton brought the dab back after declaring it dead. Chris Jones' big man interception set up the Chiefs' even more impressive touchdown from Travis Kelce. Kareem Hunt took a nap in the end zone after scoring his second TD against the Eagles. He earned the rest. The winners and losers from the Patriots' 3,620 victory over the Saints. Jacoby Brissett wasn't enough to save the hapless Colts. The Raiders have Marshawn Lynch and a goal line pass audible called Seattle, but it wasn't shade. The Eagles' loss was just part of a sad 8-minute window for Philly sports fans. The Broncos-Cowboys game was delayed for an hour due to lightning. The Rams still can't fill up the LA Coliseum. Marshawn Lynch scored his first touchdown in 2 years. Michael Bennett raised his fist after sacking Brian Hoyer. Jay Cutler threw one of the worst Hail Mary tries ever, but maybe by design. Kenny Stills celebrated a TD against the Chargers with LaDainian Tomlinson's signature move. Antonio Gates now has the most touchdown receptions for a tight end in NFL history. Devante Parker made an amazing catch to save Jay Cutler from an interception. Todd Gurley hurdled the dude like it was nothing on his way to a touchdown. The Chargers lost in heartbreaking deja vu fashion. Marshawn Lynch's first game with the Raiders in Oakland lived up to the hype. The best moment came when he danced his butt off. It took the Seahawks until the fourth quarter of their second game to score a touchdown, but it was enough to beat the 49ers. It's been a while since the Cowboys were dominated like they were in a 4,217 loss to the Broncos. Tony Romo's greatest feat as a broadcaster was explaining how Bill Belichick screws with opponents. The Falcons busted out the free throw TD celebration, set to the NBA on NBC theme. Aaron Rodgers threw his 300th touchdown on the dinkiest shovel pass possible. Top performers from Sunday's action injuries. Jeremy Maclin left the Ravens game against the Browns with a shoulder stinger. He returned to the game after getting evaluated. Unfortunately for the Ravens, they ended up losing 2 more players for the season: guard Marshall Yanda and linebacker Bam Bradley. Greg Olsen limped to the locker room with a foot injury. He did not return. Olsen confirmed after the game that he broke his foot. DeShone Kizer left with a migraine and the Browns replaced him with Kevin Hogan. Kizer would return in the third quarter. TJ Watt exited with a groin injury and did not return. Cam Newton took a huge hit and left the field with an ankle injury. He came back in the game on the Panthers' next possession. Rob Gronkowski left the Patriots game against the Saints with a groin injury. He did not return. Rex Burkhead ribs and Philip Dorsett knee also left with injuries. The Cowboys lost cornerbacks Chidobe Awuzie hamstring and Nolan Carroll concussion against the Broncos. Broncos left tackle Garrett Bowles was carted off with an injury. Jordy Nelson exited the SNF matchup with a quad injury and did not return. Later, Randall Cobb also left with a shoulder injury. Final scores: Carolina Panthers 9, Buffalo Bills 3, Tennessee Titans 37, Jacksonville Jaguars 16, Tampa Bay Buccaneers 29, Chicago Bears 7, New England Patriots 36, New Orleans Saints 20, Kansas City Chiefs 27, Philadelphia Eagles 20, Pittsburgh Steelers 26, Minnesota Vikings 9, Arizona Cardinals 16, Indianapolis Colts 13, OT Baltimore Ravens 24, Cleveland Browns 10, Miami Dolphins 19, Los Angeles Chargers 17, Oakland Raiders 45, New York Jets 20, Seattle Seahawks 12, San Francisco 49ers 9, Washington 27, Los Angeles Rams 20, Denver Broncos 42, Dallas Cowboys 17, Atlanta Falcons 34, Green Bay Packers 23. Before the games, Week 2 of the NFL season is now upon us. After an underwhelming Week 1 and a poor Thursday night game, we can only hope the action and excitement pick up as teams settle into a groove. Perhaps the most interesting game of the early slate is the Chiefs versus the Eagles. Kansas City stunned the Patriots on the road in Week 1 and will try to assert itself as a contender, but the loss of Eric Berry is a huge blow to its defense. The Eagles took care of Washington and are looking for big things from Carson Wentz, who had an impressive season debut. Speaking of the Patriots, they head into the Superdome looking for their first win of the year. The Saints were strangely lifeless in the loss to the Vikings, with the defense getting shredded by Sam Bradford and Adrian Peterson already grumbling about his role. Things could get ugly in NOLA if the Saints start off 0-2. Another early game to watch is the Steelers versus Vikings, both of whom are coming off workmanlike victories. Pittsburgh didn't have to do much to beat the Browns, although Ben Roethlisberger's road performances remain a concern going forward. Sam Bradford had no problem picking apart the Saints' defense, but he has a slight knee injury that will need to be monitored. The Dolphins and Bucs make their season debuts after Hurricane Irma forced them to postpone their Week 1 games. Jay Cutler and the Dolphins start off against the Chargers, playing in their first regular season game in Los Angeles. The Bucs have a home contest with the Bears, who put up a better fight than expected against the Falcons last week. In the late afternoon, the big game to watch pits the Cowboys against the Broncos. This is setting up to be an extremely physical matchup, with Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys' offensive line going up against Von Miller and the Broncos' no-fly zone. If you like beefy trench battles, don't miss this one. Sunday Night Football has an NFC Championship rematch with the Falcons hosting the Packers in the brand-new Mercedes-Benz Stadium. The Falcons blew out the Packers last time they played, but this could be a much closer contest with Atlanta's offense taking a slight step back from last year's historic unit. Still, the Falcons have their gang all together again: Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Devonta Freeman, Tevin Coleman, so Aaron Rodgers will be asked to either keep up or stay ahead. On paper it looks like a shootout, but both defenses should be much improved this year, making it a hard matchup to predict. Either way, it has potential to be the best game of Week 2.